Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Stellaris, where we've been at peace for quite a while now, actually. That's kind of remarkable. I'm actually shocked. I expected these guys would attack again, but apparently they're not interested. Their tech is apparently overwhelming to us, but whatever. That's absolutely fine. So we need to go through and upgrade our worlds. Our worlds are not nearly as upgraded as they should be. Oh, that reminds me. There was a message on the Discord from Field-Day Enjoyer, and it was that we misclicked a subterranean cache on Golovia 3A. I was going to check that in between episodes, but I forgot until just this moment. So let's go to Golovia, and let's see if that's accurate. I don't know. I haven't looked at this. Let's see. On Golovia 3A? I don't actually... Oh, yeah, right here. Yeah, that's a misclick, all right. Well, thank you for that, Field-Day Enjoyer. I'll get that swapped over right now. Perfect. So this Heartgrove is going to be finishing up fairly soon. These are molt guts, but the idea was that we were going to put in chemical digesters, but also we need rare crystals, and so we're going to hold off on that for the moment. Let's put in these lithic bores for right now, and we're basically out of minerals. So let's let these minerals flow in, and we'll get these chloroplastic acclimators in as soon as we can. We're also pretty low on biomass at this point, so that is understood. Okay, let's bring this up to fast speed here. There we go. And on the month tick, we'll be able to get these chloroplastic acclimators in, but we're going to be a little short on our biomass overall. So that's definitely a bit of a concern. Okay, that took all three of them. Perfect. So we just finished up nanite-infused barb artillery, which is fine. We can grab barb artillery. We could grab crystal beds. That's what we need. Fantastic. So that's only 5 months away, and Golovia 3A is going to be the location for that. Okay, sounds good. So we need a lot of resources. Most specifically, we need to accumulate some biomass. We need some minerals, but we need a lot of alloys. And I mean a lot of alloys. I'm going to sell off some of this food that we've got, and we're going to exchange that over at a terrible, terrible exchange rate for some alloys. Okay, that is a truly abysmal exchange rate. So let's give this a month tick. I tried to pause it right on the month tick, and we succeeded. These alloys have not been consumed by our upgrades yet. I want to put in gun batteries here. I want to put in a target uplink computer and upgrade this to a star fortress with those alloys. So that'll be absolutely fine. Out over this direction, Kimithar is largely good to go. It is going to need a little bit out over here. And I'm kind of wondering if we might want to replace these gun batteries with hangar bays. I don't know. Maybe. Just, it's a little more thematic for what we're doing, right? I think that might be something we do later when we're not in so much of an alloy crunch. Right now, it feels like it's just not the time for that. So we do need to get in as many alloys as we can. So what that means is I want to go through here and find any crucible worlds. Okay, technically this is not really going to help our primary situation, but we could get these upgrades going, and I want to find any crucible worlds that could theoretically be upgraded and do so. So there's this crucible world here. There's nothing to be done there. Okay, what other crucible worlds do we have here at this moment? Because we need a lot of it. Okay, this is a good situation here. So I want to replace this orchard forest with a communal biome, and I definitely want to start getting some upgrades on all of these smelting kilns. So that'll be fine. We're actually out of biomass, not out of minerals. So we'll have to wait for that biomass to come in, which it has. And we'll get some of this going. But yeah, biomass is going to be our limiting factor for a little while here anyway. So that's fine. We are going to be getting through our upgrades eventually. And the question is, where is that going to be finishing? Well, we've got our Skyfall Void Wings here that I'm really not concerned about. Deeply, deeply unconcerned about. All of these upgrades are just getting started. 0% here, 67 here. So I guess this is where our alloys are going. And over here in Ostici, 5%, 14%, 17%. Yeah. We need a lot. We need a whole lot. So we're clearing out these ruined districts here. What is the plan for this location? Well, we've got 3 out of 7 orchard forests. This could be a lithic world, and I think I will make it be one. So we'll switch these 2 over, no, not 3, 2 over to Hollow Mountains. We'll build 1 photosynthesis field. And then we do want to build more Hollow Mountains here for sure. We can only support 13 districts, so we need to replace these with Hollow Mountains up until we can't have any additional Hollow Mountains here. Okay, like that. That'll do just fine. And then actually, we don't need to do 3 of these because we're clearing off these tile blockers here, right? Yeah, we've got these 3 blocked tile blockers here. So I'm going to get rid of 3 of these. What are these blocked by? Anything in particular? Okay, sure. We'll upgrade this to a planetary root nexus. We'll come back to this. Now, this world here, we need quite a lot of work on. These are going to be pretty expensive in the biomass front. So we're going to need to get all of these going, which we just have enough to squeak in. Perfect. And for our photosynthesis fields, we'll do chloroplastic acclimators. We'll get our lithic bores going in here. These are relatively cheap, but we do need additional minerals and biomass for this. So we just finished up our rare crystal manufacturing, and that's, of course, phenomenal. Reactive armor will be very good as well. We'll get that coming in. And then we can go for... We've got a lot of decent options here, but I'm mostly just going to cruise through some of these, like the Agile Spike Array. That'll be fine for now. Okay, so back in Golovia, we know that we wanted to put in at least some rare crystal manufacturing here. So at this point, the question is, how much do we want? Well, each one of these is going to produce, in theory, about 7. We'll round it to 7. So if we put in 3, that'll be plus 21. So actually, all of these should be rare crystal manufacturing. Okay. So all 6 of these. Sounds good. So we'll get this finished up as soon as the month tick happens. Oh, we're still lacking... Oh, there's the biomass. Okay. So we were able to queue up 1 of them. Exactly 1. 320 biomass is a lot of biomass. I'm not going to lie. So out over this direction, I would love to get this going. We do need alloys for that. I'm going to buy in 500 alloys, and we're going to... I think I'm going to start putting in hangar bays here. Okay, so then we can put in a target uplink computer, and I'd love to get this upgraded. We're going to need to wait until the month tick for that. So let's get that completed. The month tick is going to happen momentarily. I'll try to pause it right on the month tick. Got it. Okay. So that's good. We've got that upgrading, and the rest of this is going to immediately go into our upgrades. We're up to 717 alloys at this moment, so that's very solid. This is a lithic world here, and this could absolutely use some lithic bores here. Let's get all of that going in. That seems wonderful. And then the question is, what do we want these specializations to be? Well, we're going to need to change one of these communal biomes over into a hollow mountain, because this is set up as a lithic world. And then I kind of just want to put in molt guts here, to be honest. So we'll let that get finished up. As soon as this month tick happens, we'll get these put in. And we can also upgrade this to a planetary root nexus, might as well. Okay, so a molt gut goes in here, and a molt gut goes in here. Perfect. This is a lithic world here, and oh my. There's a lot to be done here. We need to put in an ore spine for sure, and we need to get as many of these hollow mountains built as we possibly can. So this is a very significant lithic world here, and that's going to be wonderful. We're also going to need to put in a bloom loom out over here, but that's kind of a lower priority than getting these hollow mountains built right now. So we're just waiting for the minerals to come in here. There we go. And we'll queue up as much as we possibly can here. I want to buy in more minerals, to be honest. Okay, so that's maxed out on the Hollow Mountains. Now we can get the Bloom Loom queued up here, and then we can get these guys swapped over into being smelting pools, which is exactly the goal here. So we're going to get those going in. This is going to be a hybrid Lithic and Crucible world, with the primary focus being on Lithic. So that's absolutely fine. We're going to get these smelting pools in over here and in over here. We're lacking the biomass to get the rest of this done. That was odd. We were at 0 biomass, and it seemed like we didn't actually get the month tick for a moment there, but then we got 968. Very weird. I don't know what's going on with that, but let's go ahead and get these smelting pools queued up, and that'll be fine. We can also get these chloroplastic acclimators queued up as long as we're here. So that looks good for now. We've got so much work that we need to do on all of these worlds. So much work. So let's get some smelting pools going in over here. We'll need more minerals, of course. Any moment now, we'll get that month tick. And we are up to 740 alloys, so that's pretty decent, but we have a big alloy deficit right now. We're full on energy credits. I'm going to sell those off, and we're probably going to buy in whatever alloys we can. The price is not good, but we'll just do that for now. Okay, over this direction, we'll get these smelting pools going in. This is definitely going to be a full-on Crucible world. 61% devastation is rough, but we'll get working on this, and by the time we get this built up, we should be pretty okay on the devastation, in theory. Why do they have hunkered down on here? Can we turn that off? How do we do that in this mode? We've got expand planet size here, but how do we adjust the edicts to this? Holdings, armies, economy, management. That's weird. I would have expected it to be in the decisions. Maybe we can't. But doubling the upkeep costs is pretty rough. No doubt about that. That's interesting. Well, for now, we're just going to put in volatile mote harvesting over here. Interesting. That's fine. Yeah, we'll do that. And then ore spine here and bloom loom. We're not going to prioritize for volatile motes. We've got a decent amount of those coming in, but a few extra is definitely not going to be a bad thing. So that seems okay for now, and we'll get this bloom loom finished up here as soon as we can. Of course, all of these worlds are going to require additional work. There's no doubt about it, these worlds are very incomplete at this moment. I wanted to take time and do this a while ago, but the wars prevented it, and now we're kind of paying the price for that, because our economy is not as strong as it should be. So at this moment, reactive armor has finished up. We're going to have to do another upgrade pass, almost certainly. Let's grab barb artillery for now. And agile spike array is going to finish soon. So that seems okay. So at this moment, we are just waiting for additional communal biomes here, and that will, of course, dramatically increase our output here. So for that, we need minerals, and we're just waiting for the month tick. There we go. So we'll get that going. We'll get this guy upgraded. We'll get this guy upgraded. We can't afford to do this, but we can afford to do this. So we'll go ahead and do that for now. And then the smelting kiln will get upgraded. Well, I'm just going to buy in 5,000 minerals. That's good enough. Okay, so we'll get that underway right there. And let's see if we've got any other Crucible worlds in here that need significant work. This one's good. Nothing to be done here. And this is a cogitation world. That needs some work. I'm just going to toss a think stem in there. Okay, that'll be fine for now. What else do we have going on here? Here's a Crucible world. It does not need anything at all. It looks good. Anything else that needs to happen? Here's a Crucible world. It's fine. Checking through the rest of this. Here's a Crucible world. I suppose we could grab a chloroplastic cyst. That's fine. Over here, this is a Unity generating world. I'm not going to put resources into that for now. Okay, this Crucible world is fine. This one, though, this one needs some work. No doubt about that. So let's get these smelting pools in here. There we go. We'll put in a bloom loom. We will put in a Betharian power plant. And then beyond that, lithic bores. And then over this way, chloroplastic acclimators. We're going to need some additional biomass for this, of course. And that is absolutely fine. We'll want to get more communal biomes going here as well. That'll be fine. And we don't have a society research right now. We should probably get one. Forge subsidies. Sure. That would be a very useful thing for us to have had a million years ago, but okay. So the chloroplastic acclimators are ready to go in now. We'll get those done, and we'll get the communal biomes. Perfect. And then, of course, all we need to do is get these upgrades done over here. So that looks great for now. For that, we need biomass more than anything. So that all looks good for right now. Yeah, this will all get finished up. That'll boost up our production pretty dramatically of these alloys. So at this moment, the question is, how many more alloys do we really need for these upgrades? The answer is a lot. The answer is a whole lot. And we're going to need to reform our fleets as well. That's fine. We're going to have some extra fleets. That'll mean we're going to need to build some Titans. It's going to be a whole thing. But before that happens, I really want to be putting our resources into getting our planets up and running a little bit better, because we need it. We really need it. So over here, of course, we've got a lot of work to do as well. We'll come back to that one. For now, I want to get these smelting kilns completed. We just need the biomass for this smelting kiln, and then we can move on from this planet for now. There will be more that needs to happen, but look at that. We're up to almost 1,000 alloys a month now. So we've dramatically increased our alloy production at the cost of some food production, to be sure, and some other forms of production as well. Mostly this is because we repurposed a couple of our food worlds. This is not much of a food world here, to be honest. A research agreement? Actually, yes, we agree that. That's absolutely wonderful. So we'll get this smelting kiln done. Now we need to get all of these finished up as well, because biomass slowed us down. So we'll just get these finished up, and then we'll move on to Izk Center. Which, Izk Center, huh? Didn't that used to be somebody's capital? I think it used to be the guys up here that decided to go crisis. That'd be funny. But I'm pretty sure that's what happened. Okay, so yeah, they were the Union of Izk Center, weren't they? Pretty sure they were. So we don't need to get any additional district construction done here. This is, hang on, there's that war that we were talking about. We are at war. Okay. So the Policeman Nation has declared war on the United Uvzant League again. We're not surprised about this. Do we have a way to get to them? Yes, we do. We can always go through the wormhole that is down here in Zimpak. And I think that's exactly what we're going to do. So we're going to halt our upgrades for right now. That can stop. This can stop. Okay, this actually finished. That's excellent. And we need to rework our fleet compositions right now. This has to be done at this exact moment. I wasn't going to do it now, but, I mean, we knew that the Pelosiman Nation would likely do this at some point. It's honestly kind of surprising they gave us as much time as they did. So, for right now, what type of war is this? This is... Okay, yeah, this is one of these types of wars. Gotcha. So, this is the same type of war as it was previously. That's noted. Okay. So here's what we need to do. We need to go through our fleets here and take a look at each of these. So, as of right now, this should be for Weavers at 35. For Harbingers, we should have how many Harbingers? I think it's supposed to be... Yeah, 18, like this. So this is supposed to be at 18 harbingers for right now. We've currently got 18 here, so we just need to get rid of these. So that puts us correct there, and then this stinger gets, we get rid of that. That's now correct on the whirling corolla. Okay, beautiful. So here, maulers, we should have a grand total of 70. So we're going to get rid of these matures. We don't need to have these elders in here, and we don't need to have these elders either. That's the vast majority of the issue. So 35 harbingers is or 35 weavers is correct. We don't need these harbingers, and this one should be at 18. But we do have 15 out of 1 of these elder harbingers. Okay. So this is not something that we should have here. I'm kind of confused, actually. If we've got 15 here, why are we at 300? This is a flourishing corolla. Let's take a look here. So the flourishing corolla is these guys over here. So they've currently got their Titan, they've got 9, they've got 18 harbingers, so they have the correct amount of harbingers. This claims that there are 15 ships here. They don't appear to actually exist. Oh, that's so weird. Okay, now we only have 3 harbingers. Some of those harbingers were being counted twice. Okay, let's just do that. That puts it where it's supposed to be, but we're going to have to replenish that fleet. Understood. This fleet is nearly correct. It does have too many maulers. Okay, is this true, though? I don't think this is true. No, it is not true. I'm going to split this fleet in half. And now I'm going to group them back together here. And now it's correct. Okay. So, actually, no, it's not. It's still showing 72 maulers and 34 weavers. There should be 35 weavers and 70 maulers. There are 72 maulers and 34 weavers, though. Okay, so we need to split off 2 of these maulers from the blossoming corolla, then. So, more specifically, we need to go down and grab 2 of these maulers. We could split them, or we could not. We need to transfer some ships here, and I'm just going to move out 1 mauler and 2 maulers. Okay, so that gives us the blossoming corolla here, which then we can have 35 weavers. This is now theoretically correct. Now we're going to have to go through and bump all of them up to 340 in size. That's understood. So I'm going to get rid of all of these mature maulers here. So we've got these guys here. This is going to be up to 70. And we're going to have to make these as juveniles. We'll get there. We're not reinforcing this yet. So 70, 35, 18, 9, and 1. That's correct. 70, we don't need these. 35, 18, 9, and 1. 70, 35, 18, 9, and 1. Okay, so this is going to be... It's a little awkward here, but 70... 35, 18, 9, and 1. There we go. Okay, so here we've got, again, too many maulers. So the 9th corolla is going to need a little bit of work here. We need to split off 2 maulers here. So that's 1 and 2. There we go. And then back in here on the 9th corolla, we drop this down, and we still have way too many harbingers in here for some reason. We can do something like that. There we go. That's correct. Now the 10th corolla. 70 maulers. That is quite correct. And then 35 weavers in total, like this. We've got 1 too many weaver here, for sure. And then our harbingers are very awkward. Very, very, very awkward. And then 9 stingers. Okay, so the 10th corolla clearly needs some work. I'm going to have these guys moving over to Plant Heart. And the 10th corolla, we need to have 35 of these. So we definitely need to transfer out 1 of our weavers here. So we need to get this guy out of here, and we'll get that heading over towards Plant Heart for now. Okay, so in the 10th Corolla, we have our weavers theoretically now correct. Okay, our harbingers in the 10th Corolla are a mess. So we need to see what we've got going on here. This is allegedly 8 and 8. And the number that we're supposed to have is 18. So this is actually 16 harbingers here. But this is showing up here as being 32 harbingers. This is not correct. I'm going to disband this one. And this one. And it's clearly broken in some way, because now all of our harbingers are gone. So this needs to be up to 18, and we'll just call that good. 18. There we go. Okay, the 11th Corolla. 70, 35. This should be 18 harbingers. And then 9 stingers. There we go. This is correct. And then we've got these other small fleets over here. These guys are all heading to Plant Heart, and they're going to be used to reconstruct another fleet. So that's fine. We'll expand our fleet that way, or we could just get rid of them. Honestly, there's not many of them. I'm kind of leaning towards just disbanding these. They're all small ships as well. So something like that. Then we can think about expanding our fleets. So if we wanted to have 40 additional, we could toss in 1 more Stinger, which would allow us to get our Harbingers up from 18 to 20. Like this. And then our weavers would want to go up to 40, with our maulers going up to 80, and that actually does work. We can take it up to 84 maulers in total. Okay, so that's fine. 1, 2. Okay, and then 84. Perfect. So then this would be up to 40, and then 84 like this. Cool. So then we just need to do a few more here. 40, and then 84. 80 and 84. And 84. 2 more. There we go. And 20, 40, and 84. Perfect. So that should do the trick, and now we should be able to just hit the reinforce all button. But you can see here, this is going to cost 140,000. This is including the Skyfall Void Wings, which according to this is only 3. Okay, this is not actually true. So we need to get these done a little bit more consistently, right? So we can start reinforcing here. And we're going to need a lot of alloys to get this all done. I'm going to buy in whatever alloys we can, but it's not going to be super significant. And we're going to start working on reinforcing all of these fleets. But we're going to need to start bringing all of our combat fleets, every single one of them, over to the wormhole over here in Zimbok. So they're all going to start arriving over there, and it's going to take a while to get our forces there. No doubt about that. We are going to want to work on getting additional Hunter World upgrades going if we can, because we're expanding our fleet size, but we should, on the month tick here, see our food and our alloy production dramatically increase. And that's exactly what we're looking to see here. So we should see that. That's what we've experienced in the past. Oh yeah, look at that. 8K food, 2K alloys. That's what we want to see. So we'll reinforce this fleet once again. That's now at full strength, and we'll start to work on the flourishing Corolla. So we're just going to start pumping these ships out just as fast as we can. We didn't have time to get them fully upgraded, but that's okay. It is time to put a cut in here, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. And next episode, we're going to go beat up the Pelisemen Nation. I don't think they have any capacity of stopping us. They have 1.7 million fleet power up here, but this is not going to be enough. You can leave your offerings to the engagement gods in the form of likes, comments, subscribes, and bell ringings, and a very special thank you to all of the channel members for making this video possible, including ALS Gamer, Dark Horse, Ethan Feldman, Upper Cumberland Gamers, Nick Smarty, Punching the Microphone, The Lounge STL, Spock, and all the rest. And of course, you. Thank you for watching. If you'd like to support the channel, you can click the join button down below the video, and as always, I will see you all next time.